I know it's shocking this series still exists. Hey, but welcome back to more AEW on TEW 9. We are here with the 4th of January, totally not recording it on the 30th of January. Just a lot of stuff with writer's block and just being busy in real life. But hopefully we're starting to get past that. We'll start with the Undisputed Kingdom, defeating the Grizzled Young Veterans. Yeah, just a solid match. I don't like the GYV at all. They seem like a bunch of bitches, but whatever. They're a good tag team group. MJF was on commentary for this match, apparently. Huh. That in mind. MJF gets off of commentary for this. He grabs the mic, stepping out onto the ramp, makes fun of Cole for a bit before getting to the meat of the matter, saying that Cole's declaration that he's taking advantage of a numbers game is just a bunch of bullshit. Because MJF always has a plan, and since Cole's old flame was snuffed out of AEW, he knows that getting a foothold in the women's division is going to be something key for him to do to keep his name in there entirely. So, he's smarter than everyone for having an eye for talent, leading others to championship while also becoming the top champion for himself. He introduces his top mercenary to help his overall conquest in Stardom's Konami. He is making her way to the ring for the next upcoming match. Presumably, they go into commercial break for this as they have the entrance. MJF probably in the arena is cutting a promo, still hyping up Konami as Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly leave. Konami, fantastic wrestler in Stardom. I'm going to try to, Women's division is something I see a lot of potential in. Of course, I am bringing people in as well. Don't get me wrong about that. But honestly, it was so much easier booking the women than the men for this. The men's division is cooked right now. Mainly because there's some stories that already exist that are just god-awful that I tried to keep to. Or tried to keep to, at least, from the beginning of the year. Konami defeats Ty Mello. Good chemistry. Okay. Really good, just good chemistry in general for this. No one really cared because Konami has, no pop in America, but whatever. Interview then takes place with Chris Statlander. Chris says that even though she failed to dethrone the CEO, she's still willing to take on the entire women's division to try and get back to that crown. She's interrupted by Will Nightingale and the conglomeration. Chris apologizes to Will for all the bad blood recently, and all because Stokely tore them apart. And Stoke hears this, he's like, I don't need people like you. I don't need people like Will because I have my best future ahead of me already. I have my plans. But, as all that's happening, the conglomeration who are just standing there get attacked by the House of Black. Julia Hart, she doesn't say anything, or doesn't get involved in fighting, but she does walk up to the group, kind of staring them down a little bit. And so we just get a big old segment here, get a couple stories started with I'm trying to think of what the stories all are. I believe my stories for this are, I think it's Chris versus Julia Hart, and then House of Black versus Conglomeration. I forget what the women's feud in this is. I booked this a while ago. It just took a while to finish things off on there. Private Party defeat Fred Yehi and Treehouse Lee. Excellent chem. Alright, welcome to having official contracts, Fred Yehi and Treehouse Lee. You will be a new tag team. Fantastic. But yeah, they're just in on one-night contracts right now, but they will be being brought in to be a proper tag team. And I can find something to do with them as well. Just a quick match, show off the Private Party. 4-minute match. Because afterwards, they jam up for a while before getting a mic and talking and say, now listen up, everyone. Tag Team Division AEW hasn't been rocking for a damn long time. And we're definitely guys that think that something needs to be changing out here. Chat with TK about this. We think it's time to get ourselves something that made AEW so strong, so unique, so damn great. An open challenge. Open invitation to try to crash the part for anyone in the back, anytime, anywhere, any day. And then we get a little, I am the learning tree. Because, they're playing, or the Private Party music plays for a bit, it's like, alright, that's the end of the segment, they're making their challenge, but Chris Jericho comes out with the branches and says, hi guys, Now, I know that you're people that have been thinking that your AEW's best interests in mind, but and that's something that's really great for you guys to think, but we all know what really puts people's minds at ease. Me, the learning tree. So while I know that your little party's something, guys, you don't even want to have people to ruin the surprise about, I'm going to let you know that on Dynamite, the Redwood and the Bad Apple are going to already ruin your guys' party and take the TV titles to TV time every single week. Thanks, guys! God, I conceptually like the new segment system for 9, the new angle system, but there's a lot of problems with it still. Like, Jericho shouldn't be getting a 40 rating on that. I think he's the only one saying anything. Well, morale, probably some bullshit with... Okay, so actually, no, they were talking. Okay, that's fine. After this, we get a Oh, I feel like I misplaced something. Yeah, well. Mortos defeats Juice Robinson. The Infernal Suplex. Pretty long match on there, but Mortos, he looks to continue beating down the lone Juice Robinson. The camera showed that a massive brawl is broken out in the parking garage between... I forgot to put Jake Roberts in this segment, I'm pretty sure. Between the Bullet Club Gold and LFI, chaos fully breaking out. Sends Mortos running out of the ring, attempting to make his way down there to help out his group. The road agents and security, they're trying to pour in, they're trying to break up the fight, and they successfully do manage to split up the groups. Seem not to be aware that the BCG were placed on the side closest to the backstage area, so Mortos is able to get there, run over the security guards, knock down Jay White, take everyone out. LFI, they're keeping to, they keep beating down everyone, and they also attack most of the security guards were already probably clear out of the way, for that. And by the time the full beatdown is occurred, Jake Roberts, he's getting a camera closer and he says, "The Bullet Club have always tried their best, you rebels. And the rest of the world feared them. The wrestling world always looked out for the Bullet Club. But that was a long time ago. There's only one group that was ever truly ungovernable. It's time for them to finally take that. It's time for us to take that ethos internationally. The hands of Roosh, the hands of the Murdoch monster, Lance Archer, the hands of Jalisco, and the Beast Mortos." Yeah, I think I forgot to put Jake Roberts in this segment. Oopsie doopsies. That's fine, though. Serena Deeb is then shown at a training facility, giving a lecture on in-ring work to a bunch of other women. Camera then pans over to Toni Storm, who is listening intently. She's approached by a girl who introduces herself as Shannon Lavangi. The two discuss being new members of the AEW roster and training with the professor, but Deeb, there's people talking in class, calls them out. You need to make up for not listening. Tag team match against her. Yeah, and then next week, volunteer for Deeb, which is Zeta Steel. Match set for Collision. Bunch of young women who haven't gotten any shine in there. I just think a lot of them just had... Well, okay, I believe Zeta Steel worked Marigold, I think, a little bit. Jessica Troy right now is champion in one of the Australian promotions. But a lot of these are just... They're pretty young pieces that have decent enough stats, trying to build up some more homegrown stars. Yeah. Jamie Hayter then defeats Layla Gray with the Falcon Arrow. Jesus Christ, a lot of good chemistry. Jimmy gets the mic after the match and reiterates the point made on Dynamite about wanting to go out there and making sure both Mariah and Mercedes are on their toes, because an absolute rock star like Jamie Hayter is ready to take the belts off of either of them and become champion once again. Unfamiliar track plays as the NWA Women's Champion Kenzie Page comes out, and she introduces herself. NWA Women's Champion Kenzie Page. Kylie Page used to work AEW Dark mainly, but I don't think Kenzie has at all. Digs Jamie's vibe, but she needs to know her place as someone that's not a champion. And Jamie's like, yeah, your NWA is nothing compared to nationally televised women's belts like the AEW World Women's Belt, the TBS belt. And Kenzie's like, I really thought that you had something more, but the punk rock prima donna wants to unite some belts And what better way to make a statement than by showing AEW your acumen and taking out a big deal like Jamie Hayter. Jamie's like, the fuck are you talking about? We're being jumped behind by Robin Renegade and the new debutante Vipress. Kenzie, after a little bit of a beatdown, calls him off and is like, you know what? Or as Jamie starts to get up a little bit, starts to recover from it being a sneak attack, and, calls off Robin, calls off Vipress, and, yeah, they're just like, alright, challenge has been made. Kenzie Page, I think, is going to be someone who I'll build up pretty well. She has some pretty good stats on there as well. I do like the look as well. Both of the Renegades will be part of this group. Vipress is pretty solid as well, but it is mainly a Kenzie Page staple. Shelton Benjamin squashes AR Fox, and then MVP gets into the ring after... I think I forgot I might not have moved some segments around, but whatever. MVP gets into the ring after the match and starts to hype up the Hurt Syndicate for a while before his attention turns elsewhere. He notes that Bobby Lashley has the main event tonight against Swerve Strickland, and while it's obviously a fantastic goal for him to be in the world title picture, the Hurt Syndicate isn't just going to stop there. They're working on bringing a literally acclaimed team into the fold. They've got showstoppers that they want to bring in. MVP has every hand in every pocket. He's looking all over AEW, looking all over the wrestling world in general, find out what he's going to do to find his way to get the Hurt Syndicate on top. And Shelton can do that pretty good now by focusing down on Daniel Garcia if he stops being a coward. Now, again, mentions that he has a lot of plans, but his monologuing is cut short by Daniel Garcia's music hitting. He comes out and says that, MVP, he's not just going to be able to waltz into AEW, he's not just going to be able to walk in to the land of All Elite, rehash some of his glories, try to gain some of that popularity that he used to have so long ago, and just take over compared to people who have always bled that All Elite blood. Shelton actually takes the challenge, taking the mic from MVP and says, alright, bet, next week, TNT Championship on TNT, next week Collision main event. Garcia's like, alright, fucking sure. So, that sets up our main event for next week. Yusuke Okada is seen wearing a fancy suit in an equally fancy club, talking into the camera. Says that the Elite have known Omega forever. Okada has known Omega forever, and that the group all used to be one. But now, Omega thinks that he's outgrown the Elite. He thinks that he's, gotten further beyond. He thinks that he's some sort of official person that wants to really, that thinks that AEW is in a place where it doesn't need the Elite. Regardless of what history there is, regardless of what Omega thinks, there's only one thing for sure is that Okada is the most elite out there. The last one standing, the world's strongest group of wrestlers ever. But as much as he wants to take out Omega now, he wants the cleaner to be at his strongest. It's not worth it taking out a cripple, as he will say, because I think that's a nice line. So Omega, he can take his time to recover, and at All In Texas, even when Omega is recovered, Okada will still conquer him. Okada will prove still who the best ever is. In our main event, I forgot to fucking put a segment after this. Swerve defeats Bobby Lashley. Again, I booked this over the course of like 3 weeks. I booked this over the course of like 2 weeks. Because again, writer's block is a bitch. So I forgot a lot of things. 64 rating is fine. Yeah. I still need to work out exactly how to do the angle system well to get good ratings, while still getting people involved. Still have to work on, obviously, getting my better story writing in, actually doing things how I meant them to be, but whatever. I'll do it for this time. Next time we have Dynamite, and hopefully I can get episodes out at a quicker rate, and actually probably my hope is to stay ahead of real life eventually.